Hi, this is U.S. Chess digital editor John Hartmann, and I am here with Grandmaster Jacob Aagaard. Did I say that right?
Aagaard. So it's like almost like Aagaard.
I've been
Aagaard.
practicing, and I
It's
almost
fine.
got it
It's
right. We are sitting here upstairs at the St. Louis Chess Club after the first day of the 50th U.S. Chess School, which Jacob was in charge of today. So,
In charge is maybe too much. I was present.
well, tell us about the day. How do you think it went?
I had a very good time. I think most of the kids had a good time. Some of them knew of me in advance, or sort of some of them knew that maybe I had something to offer. And I think from both my side and from their side, it's like getting to know each other. And I am in a situation like this. I'm a very silly person. I like to make a lot of jokes and just break the ice. And a lot of my jokes are very, very lame. At the same time, I like to take the chess really seriously. It's I think there's a Danish philosopher who said that those who take serious things seriously and treat frivolous things frivolously have misunderstood both. And I think that's very important. That in English the expression is, of course, whenever you're laughing, you're learning. So I'm trying to sort of make it light in the sense of the approach, the human approach and human interaction. But the chess is very very hardcore. I presented them with exercises that I give to the 2,700 players I work with, and they struggled, and that's okay, because we're learning, we're not performing.
I was fortunate enough to sit in the back, and I will admit, for most of it, I was completely lost. But
I thought you were sleeping, actually.
well, a little of both. Sometimes it just looks like that when I'm very deep in thought. One of the things I was curious about is that at a few points you would ask them if they knew some of the touchstones from your book, Thinking Inside the Box, and either they were reticent to raise their hands, or they didn't want, or they hadn't read about the four decisions or the three questions. Was that surprising to you, or?
No, not so much. I think that there are some people there who have read the books, and it's normally a minority. But if you're one person who have written some books, and I talk about one of these books, it would be strange if the majority of people have read it. I think Thinking Inside the Box, I think it's my most important book. I'm not sure it's the best, but it's the one I call my book, and it's the reference point to everything I do. And it's readable for more or less all levels. Some of it is quite advanced, but I think everyone able to understand it, even if they're not able to do it. Just like physical sports, which is I cannot do high jumping. I can not even jump over a chair, I think. But I still understand the physics of you lift your legs and you come over it. In the same way with my book, I hope I explain what happens in chess. So even if you're not trying to necessarily perform on a professional level or international level, you can still understand a lot of the things that are happening with this book. But it's very broad. So we talked about this book earlier, and I think the flaw with it being broad is that often things are going very fast, and you're on to the next thing and on to the next thing. And now it's like I'm talking about my book as I don't like it. I actually really, it's the book I wanted to write. It's exactly as I wanted to write, and just not really one for bragging. But okay, so some of them knew the books, so someone knew some other books, and I signed a book, and I talked about other books with a few guys in there that I've written. And for me, that's always very humbling and very pleasant, that you have done work that other people appreciate. So that I wouldn't focus on the people who haven't gotten around to the books yet. That's very far from my way of thinking.
It's just future market share.
I don't care about money.
So today there was a lot of solving.
Yes.
Is that what the campers can expect for the next few days?
More actually, they're going to get worked. So sort of like it's every place is different. So for example, if I do a camp with Indian kids, then everyone's just very, very, very focused and just working hard. While here there's a more like we're with the friends and social thing, and there's more chatting happening. So what I did today was I divided everyone up to 4 teams. So it was the ladies team, it was the short team, the mediocre team, and the long team. And so we put them first where there was a person for every team in every area of the club, so that they're sitting next to the competitors, because then they don't talk so much. And then in the end I put them together for like they were there for 40 minutes, and then I put them together for 45 minutes where they were sitting and comparing their solutions with their teammates and maybe trying to improve on things. And in that way I'm giving a balance between, you know, trying to focus but also having this social interaction, which, you know, when you're a young person is really maybe one of the reasons why you want to do chess, and you get a great feeling out of it. You go home and you want to work with the things you learned. But solving is a lot of what I do, because in reality chess is not a game of understanding, it's a chess of skills to a great extent. And a lot of the skills are very easy to explain, but to do them is almost infinitely hard. And it's the same in most physical sports as well. Do you want an example?
Sure.
Yeah, for example, for calculation, it's a 3-step process. It's find the options, analyze the options, or calculate the options, and then choose the best one. And often there's a real problem for many strong players of actually seeing options they don't see automatically, and it's a skill that can be acquired over time, and it requires serious work. And it's one of the things, one of the many things I work with Sam with, and he's now quite good at this.
Sam also won today, if I remember correctly.
He did, yeah. It was he sacrificed a piece, very complicated game, and then the opponent simply missed one of Sam's options at some point, and he won immediately. And there's another game where a game between Peter Lecco and Bochner, where Bochner, he blundered a piece in a simple way. Just didn't see the opponent's next move. And these things sound very simple, but you have to do them consistently well. It's the consistency which is difficult.
So this is not the first camp you've done in America this summer. You were down at the Charlotte camp, I guess in June, late June?
Yeah, in mid-June.
Mid-June. So what was your experience like there?
Well, it was very pleasant. I was spending time with long-term friends and authors for Quality Chess, Boris Avruk and Mihail Marin, and Peter Grant and Alex, who were organizing the camps, have become personal friends. And it was really a pleasant experience. The kids were great. Sometimes with the younger kids, they're more energetic, and sometimes it can be a little bit challenging. And I have to admit, I'm not as patient as maybe I once was, or I should be. So I'd organized that I had the smallest kids the first session in the day, so I was less tired, and I was more forgiving. They could be more forgiving of my impatience with them. But I'm sorry, I just have a tendency to focus on my own failings rather than I think so. I think it was a nice experience. The kids seemed happy. I did what I could, but I've done a lot of camps this year, and I'm tired. I'm looking forward to be at home for a lot of the last of the year. I'm very worn out.
That leads into the final question I've got. So after this, which ends I guess on Friday,
yes.
You are heading home, I assume?
First I'm going to go to an outdoor concert in New Jersey on Saturday, and then from Monday next week I'm in a guitar camp on Long Island.
Where on Long Island? Asking as a Long Islander.
Glencoe or something.
Glencoe.
Something like that. It's a camp with Steve Vai and Joe Satriani, Pliny, I think, and a few other guys. And it's the kind of camps I go to like once a year or so in the US. And these camp with Steve Vai are special because you get to play with him on stage for like jam for 3-4 minutes. And yeah, I'm not going to say I'm good at all, but I like it. And I think, you know, when you try to be an educator, which I ended up becoming like out of nowhere, I think it's very important that you're also a student at something, and you keep in touch with that experience of how it feels to learn something and the challenges, and that's one thing. And I wanted to say something else. We talked about this earlier, so you know, there's a thought I had over the last year or something like this, that there are people who are motivated by their own experiences, their own performance and their own goals, and then there are people who are inspired by helping others but are not really good with their own. So like, for example, with me as a player, I was not so bad. I was British champion. I had a consistent 2600 performance over a while, but you know, I really maxed out to get to that level, I think, because sitting and working on my own game and working seriously and professionally, I just couldn't do it. But helping like Sam Shanklin, Boris Gelfand, or other guys I'm helping, I just, you know, I keep going and going and going, and I just feel like this is what I should do, or write books, or anything where I'm feeling I'm assisting other people, helping, doing what they want to do. And sometimes I met like official, like a federation official and so on, who are very disappointed when players are asking what's in it for me, and they're sort of thinking, why are they not like us? Why didn't you know to, like, let's say, do it all for the US chess? And it's like, you don't want them like that. You want your players to play, and you want your officials to be officials. And like, for example, with me, if Sam was not as focused on his own performance as he is, it would be horrible for me as a trainer. It's like, no, I'll do the training, he'll do the playing, and he'll focus on it. And luckily he's a very hard worker, and it's probably one of the reasons why we get along so well, at least from my perspective.
I do have to ask, since you did bring it up, any books or any book projects on the horizon that you are thinking about, or?
I have about 10 or 12 half-written books ready. I had a virus which I got in December 2017 in northeastern corner of India, like a respiratory virus. At some point, my doctors thought I had TB. I was very ill. I've been throwing up blood for like, actually the last weeks still, one incident, but it's just like it's the inside of my throat has been slightly damaged. So sometimes if I like, it's not something to worry about. It's not like I'm ill, but you know, it took a lot out of me, and a lot of things have been unfinished. And I get emails from time to time. When is the new Gelfand book coming? When is this or that coming? And from the start of August, I'm essentially not giving many camps anywhere. I'm not traveling much. I have a 4-day camp in Spain in September, but otherwise I'm not doing any traveling until the late end of December. So I'm going to sit at home and I'm going to write a few books, because that's really what I want to do. I'll do it for me rather than say yes to everyone who asks me to do something for them. Get back to the gym. I live across the street from the gym, so you know, I haven't been there much for the last half year, but it's time.
It's time. All right. Well, personally, I will be looking forward to whatever comes off your computer, as I'm sure a good number of people will be. And thank you so much for taking the time and talking to us. I know it's been a long day, but I do appreciate it, and I think our viewers will as well.
You're very welcome. And if anyone finds my suitcase, which I haven't found yet, then please send it to me. I need my hair gel and I need my razor. And I apologize for looking a bit rough, but that's the excuse.
Well, this will go up in a day or two, so by hook or by crook, I hope you do find it by then. Thank you so much.
Someone doesn't give it to me.
That's right. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the week here.
Thank you very much.